With great wonder and deep gratitude, I can say unequivocally that I have loved the opportunity to reflect on an amazing panorama of people who have enriched my life and taught me so many valuable lessons. They gave much to me so that I could give more to others. This reflection crystallized for me that the most important learning opportunities and pivot points in my career have centered around 4 foundations. They are my story. So first, thank you to the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven for the lesson that nonprofit organizations can grow stronger as a result of effective technical assistance. Now, before you decide to call Tony Proccio and the jargon police, let me borrow a phrase from Dan Pallotta to redefine capacity building. He said it so simply: helping nonprofits get a hand up, not a hand out. It's very straightforward. In 1983, I joined a consulting firm based in New Haven, Connecticut, to develop the firm's nonprofit and philanthropic practice. My first client was the Community Foundation. At that time, the idea of using paid consultants to help nonprofit organizations gain skills, talents, and resources was barely recognized as a field of practice. But as you can see from the list of vendors in Resource Central and the roster of presenters at this conference, we helped to break some important ground, and I'm very proud of that. Thank you also to the Annie E. Casey Foundation for inspiring my commitment to better outcomes for children and for the experience of learning how to support community-wide efforts to achieve them. When I first met the staff at Casey in 1989, the brand new foundation was headquartered in Greenwich, Connecticut. The core staff was, shall we say, lean, but that didn't deter them from launching an ambitious dot-connecting initiative called New Futures for Youth. I was fortunate to join Casey's team of outsourced staff to help communities across the country tackle a cluster of youth issues in education, employment, and teen pregnancy prevention. This experience solidified my thinking about comprehensive approaches to complex issues. The design of the initiative further informed my thinking about collaboration, admittedly a much overused word, yet so fundamental in its simplicity as the power of many banded together to solve tough social problems. 2 decades ago, the notion of a so-called community collaborative of stakeholders from both public and private sectors was quite new and largely untested. So is the idea of working together to reform local systems. So today, this task, as we call it in Cincinnati, of herding cats, is a familiar bedrock of all modern community change initiatives. Thank you to the Pew Charitable Trust for the chance to further demonstrate that dot connecting, or comprehensive approaches, actually work, that they can be applied to neighborhood development, and that community foundations are great partners.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first officially welcome you, although I know many of you have been here for a little while, but officially welcome you to the city of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. We could not be more excited to have the Council on Foundations right here in our great city. And let me also mention that with all the seriousness that Dave's introduction, actually I am just the warm-up act for Arianna Huffington, and I could not be more excited to be in that role. Good morning, Arianna. Welcome to Philadelphia as well. Steve Gunderson, President and CEO of the Council on Foundations, Carol Larson, Kevin Murphy, and all of the board members, all of the members, all of the affiliated organizations. We could not be more excited than to have you right here in our city. We think the time and the place, certainly for us, could not be more timely. Dave talked about our Cities of Service Award, and we have benefited from many, many, many of you and your efforts all across the nation, but certainly, again, here in Philadelphia. The time for philanthropy could not be more important to many of our cities, given the after effects of still a crushing economic crisis, and the needs are great. Public-private partnerships and relationships with the philanthropic community could not be more important in all of our cities all across America. Certainly Philadelphia has been a beneficiary directly, whether it's in cities of service, whether it's promoting healthy eating, whether it's economic development related to the arts, and many, many other areas. I want to thank you for your generosity and your partnership with this city and many others across America.
It is really great to be here, and it is really, for me, a very special honor to be among you, because Benjamin Franklin mentioned that I was once a conservative, and during all my different incarnations, there's been one steady conviction, and this is that what is happening at the community level, what's happening at the human, personal level, is absolutely essential for bringing about fundamental change. We need government, we absolutely need government, and my views change just about how much we need government. But the one constant has been that we also need each other to engage at the local level. And I know I don't need to convince anyone here about this. In fact, I feel a little bit like Claire Booth Luce, who was a recent convert to Catholicism, and she had an audience with the Pope, and she turned to the Pope and said to him, you know, I just so love what the church does. And she went on and on and on about Catholicism. And at one point, the Pope interrupted her and said, Madam Booth Luce, you forget I'm already a Catholic. So I don't want you to interrupt me and remind me that you're already fully committed to what I'm going to say. But what is exciting about this moment is that everything that you've been working on and everything I've always believed in is now, at this particular moment in our history, actually reaching a new kind of tipping point. That famous word that cannot be fully translated in English, zeitgeist, actually exists, and there is something in the zeitgeist that means that all the efforts that you've always been engaged in, through a combination of need and technology, can actually be accelerated like never before.